bugs. Hate them, hate them, hate them. Ever since I was 3 years old and I woke up with a big spider on my face. And so one day my dad, summer again, my dad tells me, he's like, listen Anthony, I need to go to work. Could you do me a favor and polyurethane some molding because I need it for tomorrow? I'm like, okay Dad, are you videotaping this shit? I just realized. Alright, whatever. Share it with the world how big a pussy I am. So I'm like, okay Dad, I'll polyurethane the wood, just leave it out for me, I'll take care of it. So I go downstairs during the day, he's at work, and I go into the garage, and I break out the polyurethane, and I start going, and the fumes are just heavy and nasty. So I open up the garage door, get some air in here, some ventilation. About 5 minutes in, baddest fucking horsefly I've ever seen in my life, just buzzing around my head. I jump over the sawhorses, run in, close the garage door, and I'm just up against the garage door like this. It scared the shit out of me. It went right in my ear. It's just like, and I hear it buzzing around the door, and I'm like, great. I'm like, how am I going to get work done with this horsefly in the garage? And it stops. So I crack the door open, just a hair, and there's a garbage can right there. And it's in there. It's just walking around. And it's open, and the garbage can lid is right there. I'm like, I'm being as quiet as I possibly can. And I just grab the lid, and I'm like trying to fit it on because God knows it's never gonna fit on when I need it to. So I'm like, this, I'm like, get the fuck on! And I get it on, and I hear it buzzing around inside. I'm like, fuck you! And I go back to polyurethane. 5 minutes later, that fucker got out. I don't know how, but he went right in the other ear. Over the sawhorses again, run in, slam the garage door, leaning up against it. He's in the house. Now, from the garage door to the living room where I had the bat is this long hallway. And I run, and I throw myself into the hallway, and it's not following me. And so I run upstairs, and I go into the kitchen and get this stupid novelty fly swatter that my mom had bought. It's one of those fly swatters that cleverly has one of those sandals at the end. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Alright. So, I get it, and I go downstairs to face this fucker. I go downstairs, and I hear it. So I'm creeping down the hallway, and I come to the end of the hallway, and I peek into the storage room. And I think I see it on the windowsill at the other end of the storage room, but it's dirty as hell in there. So I can't tell if that's the fly or dirt, because it's not moving. To this day, I don't know how, and I don't know where, but I run, and I come back with binoculars. This is not a lie. I have binoculars. I lean around. If this were the doorway, this is me. Bring the binoculars up. Sure enough, it's the fly. I'm like, yes. And I go and I take one step in and the fly is off, right towards me. Fuck! I run down the hallway and I do this ridiculous sort of barrel roll under the table. And this thing is flying around the living room now. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this a different way. I run back upstairs, get a can of bug spray, and I come down. Now I got the fly swatter in my left hand and the bug spray in the right, and I'm armed to the teeth. And I run downstairs and the thing is flying around. And it comes straight at me. I swear to God, this thing had a vendetta against me. And my reaction is, and I go to try and knock it out of the air with the fly swatter, but the fly swatter, someone neglected to tell me it was broken. So the sandal flies off and just hits a wall. Just, so now I'm armed with bug spray and a stick. And I'm like, fuck this. And I just go and I go to spray it. And in my delirium, I neglected to shake the bug spray. So as opposed to a fine mist coming out, I get just like a sprinkler system. The shit hits the wall, just didn't hit the fly. Now it turns around and comes at me, and I do this matrix thing, and it flies over me, and I gracefully crash into the floor.
Oh man.
Now I'm on the ground, and I just roll up, and I get back, and now it's by the front door. And this fly is buzzing around this little half window that's on the front door. And I'm like, okay, you fucker. Take off my sandal, and I whip it at it. Miss the fly, crack the glass, and it comes at me again. And I just die. I roll under the table again, and it goes to the back window and gets caught in these dirty, nasty blinds because they haven't been dusted in ages. And so it's like, zzz, and it's flying around. I shake up the bug spray. I just run over. I go, and I step back for a second. I think just falls to the windowsill. And it's still alive. And I'm sandalless, so I can't like just kill it with my hand. And it tries to fly and then falls to the carpet. And it's trying to get away. It's crawling on the floor towards a dehumidifier. A 75-pound dehumidifier. I walk over and I go, fuck no. Grab the dehumidifier and go, BAM! And I scream, I will ruin you! And I just walked away.
Oh.
I closed the garage door, I polyurethane the wood. I got so fucking tanked on those fumes. And I just walk upstairs and I go to bed. My dad comes in. And? Yeah, Dad? What the fuck did you do? I'm like, there was a horsefly. You did this. All this. Over a horsefly. It was big, Dad. Fuck this. And he proceeds to go and do his work. Now, that is the horsefly story. Is there another request?
Yeah.
No, this, the show.com.
The show at what?
The